Good evening, everyone. I'm welcoming you all to our today's session. I'm Ari Mukherjee, and first of all, let me thank you all for being present here. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker this evening, who is going to discuss about the artist Isha Muhammad and his times. The eminent speaker of this unique topic is Professor Shamir Isha, son of Sri Isha Muhammad. Sri Isha Muhammad was a renowned artist, administrator, and an academician. He was the ex-principal of Government College of Arts and Craft and also the president of Asiatic Society from 2015. Professor Shamir Isha's grandfather, Abu Bakr, was also a renowned football player and a designer of the Bata logo. Now, let me share some information about Professor Shamir Isha. He is presently the senior most teacher at St. Xavier's College for the last 14 years, educated at Mudalia ICS Kindergarten School. Thereafter, he qualified ICSC from St. Thomas Day School, Kolkata, graduated with an honors degree in history from Maulana Azad College. He has also done double masters with commendable first class third grade from Calcutta University in ancient Indian history and culture and Islamic history and culture in the year 1998 and 2007. He has also done B.Ed from Calcutta University with first class 9th grade and double honors with gold certification in travel and tourism management from Tradewinds Institute of Management and from IATA UFTA Geneva. Now I request Professor Shamir Isha, sir, please start your deliberation.
Uh, it's a very late good evening, and today my topic is the artist Isha Muhammad and his times. Uh, he, the artist Isha Muhammad, passed away in COVID in the year 2021 in the second wave, along with many other distinguished luminaries of the Bengal uh, intelligentsia. So it has already been said by the authorities of the Modak Academy, to whom I'm very grateful for giving me this opportunity to speak on this deceased artist. And I would be speaking also on the other artist if I would get the opportunity. I start my lecture. He always compared himself to the epic heroes or villains like Karna or Ekalavya, or for instance, Odysseus or Spartacus, the deprived yet the indomitable firm hero. He rose like a meteor, breaking the chains of the sky and the earth, and shattered the shackles of caste, creed, faith, and color. Despised by his semi-literate and hidebound traditional community, Isha grew up under the free air of Hindu culture and Indian art and religion. He simply loved reality and art. His father, Abu Bakr, was a designer who left him for the other world at the age of 11, turning Isha's silver spoon into one of the hot metal or burning iron. But Isha's father had designed the Bata logo, which went undocumented in British India. The 11 years old boy grew up amidst the uncertainties and poverty of a fatherless life, reading world and Bengali literature in particular in the light of the street lamps which crept through the ruined windows of the dilapidated house where Isha's widowed mother and brothers and sisters dwelt. Isha learnt English listening to the court verdicts and the BBC while studying without books at the Konnagar High School set up by Shib Chandra Dev, a disciple of Derozio. Without study material and relying on his stupendous memory, Isha passed his intermediate with distinction. But his career as an artist bloomed and sprouted into an efflorescence within the ever elastic walls of the classical seat of art education, the Government College of Art and Craft, Kolkata. Giants like Ramindranath Chakraborty, Chintamani Kaur, Somnath Hoare, Jamini Roy, Mukul De, Rothin Moitro, the illustrious Devi Prasad Roy Chaudhuri baked the baked Isha's life. There was also uh, Ramanikanta Datta and Lady Ranu Mukherjee and other illustrious men and women in the background. With scholarships and distinction, Isha shaped his secular communist ideologies and realistic intellect at Dusseldorf, Germany, at the Avowed Art Institutions of Paris, in the museums of the Great Britain, particularly the Victoria and Albert Museum and the British Museum, only to come back to Calcutta to become a lecturer at his alma mater. Admiring Tagore for his philosophy of life and Charles Chaplin and Dickens for their work, Isha unknowingly became the David Copperfield or Opu of Vibhuti Bhushan. Isha took up the arduous task of becoming the vice principal and professor in charge of 14 years, for 14 years, becoming the full-time principal for a year or two. Criticized vehemently in the creative world of art as a portrait painter, which Isha took up for subsistence and survival. He was no doubt a very creative, realistic painter, and his practical but surrealistic works found him within the group exhibitions of struggling Calcutta Painters Group. Shrugging his shoulders with contemporaries and seniors of repute like Robin Mondal, Prakash Karmakar, Bijan Chaudhuri, and friends like Debobrata Chakraborty, Surojit Das, Anita Roy Chaudhuri, Dhiraj Chaudhuri, Shunil Das, and others. Isha was also acquainted with the works of other famous and leading artists of the day like Pradosh Das Gupta, Shanu Lahiri, Nirod Mojumdar in Kolkata, and friends and elders like Hussain, Bhupen Khakkar, and Rana Narayan Dotto at Delhi, with um, artists of other areas. Receiving countless awards, distinctions, and designations, Isha finally designed the Bokul Bagan Durga idol for the International Festival of the Bengali nation to such an extent that he was praised and accoladed by Sri Balasaheb Thackeray in his Samna and Marathi Manus. Isha's name was also encoded within the pages of Asian American Who's Who and the catalogue of Modern Art Gallery, New Delhi, as amongst the most veteran artists of India. Being awarded by the government of West Bengal with the highest honor of distinction as an artist of repute, Isha was also crowned with laurel leaves of honor by the felicitations given by Robindra Bharati University and the Rajya Charukala Parshad, Ministry of Culture, West Bengal Government, and the Sarva Bharatiya Charukala Bhavan affiliated to the University of Khairagor. Isha enlivened full-length portraits of intellectuals like Vidyasagar, which adorn the walls of the Vice Chancellor's office at the University of Kolkata, and that of Rabindranath at Jadavpur University, and that of Jawaharlal Nehru at the Koila Bhavan, Bhopal. The present CM of West Bengal, Her Excellency Miss Mamta Banerjee, had Isha paint the full-length portrait of Sri Bidhan Chandra Rai for the Bidhan Shobha, while way back in his career, Isha painted the enormous painting of Maulana Azad for Maulana Azad College, Calcutta. Isha climbed up the ladder of his life and fame after painting these, as well as the dramatic full-length portrait of Sri Ramakrishna, Sister Nivedita, Girish Ghosh, and Vivekananda for the Star Theatres, Kolkata. Interestingly, while constructing these personalities in oil canvas, Isha would climb the physical ladder with his acute spondylosis and keeping himself awake till the early hours of the dawn in the excitement of creativity. Isha was born in a Bengali Mughal zamindar family of Bagher Khal, Hatirkul area, adjoining Konnagar with Rishra. Sheikh Abu Bakr, Isha's father, was not only a distinguished football player and an educated man of distinction, honesty, and erudition. The family traced their lineage from the Mughal soldiers who had come to the area with Maharaja Torumal for agricultural purposes. Agricultural and administrative duties, but had married Bengali women of the locality and settled down. A dilapidated mosque and a labyrinthine lane, still known as the Haji Sheikh Bakshu Lane, leads to the ancestral villa and orchard, which no longer exist, as the Rishra mills stand over the high town, or acropolis or orchard mound containing ancient graves. But all this is gone now except the faint memory of Bonkuda, who had been a very famous coal merchant. Tabriz Ali Malik, one of Isha's parental uncle and gold medalist in Sanskrit from the University of Kolkata, was also an inspiration. The boy Isha would go out hunting and to collect the zamindari rent on his white horse quite often. At the age of 7, and when on one occasion threatened with death, saving his own life by hiding inside an unknown grave for 3 days during the riots of partition. After the partitioned dispossession of their zamindari seat, the family shifted to Konnagar, to the cursed and haunted villa of Shaha family, situated on 57C Ship Chandradev Street, a communally peaceful Devpara very close to the ancestral house of Ship Chandradev of Young Bengal under Derozio. Under Derozio, Isha Muhammad's Sufi ancestors still lie buried at the open air twin Sufi tomb complex at Kotrong Dharsha area known as Abdul Tala, where with women not being allowed in. Isha grew up in the old Hindu mansion and an absolutely ruined Thakur Dalan and a Dochala Kali temple opposite to the house on the other side of the road. Isha started his journey drawing army jeeps and motorcycles of the army men involved in the Second World War, for which his high school had become a camp, and also for which all students were exempted from education for 2 years. His uncle, the famous and notorious freedom fighter and communist leader Ghulam Mohiuddin, who made him draw posters for the rebellious Communist Party and indirectly instilled Marxist ideas into Isha's hungry mind. Isha, the educated and firebrand adolescent, got distinction in his intermediate exam and took admission in the physics department of Uttarpara College. Isha was born in a world torn apart by the Indian Holocaust and the Second World War, and he was named Isha, Jesus Christ, because his mother's name was Maryam Begum. She had the face of his mother. Isha had the face of his mother, and after his schooling and 1 year of physics honors, he got admitted into the Government College of Art and Craft, Kolkata 700016, today's Jawaharlal Nehru Road, Old Chaurangi Road. Isha underwent training in graphic art under Professor Sackenheim of Dusseldorf Academy, Germany. Isha Muhammad became lecturer in drawing and painting at the Government College of Art and Craft, Kolkata, 1962. Thereafter, Isha was assistant professor, vice principal, and officer in charge 1979 to 1992, and finally became principal, Government College of Art and Craft from 1992 to 94. Isha held solo exhibitions at Darjeeling in 1960, Indo-American Society, Kolkata in 1964, All India Fine Arts and Crafts Society, New Delhi, 1967, and West Germany, 1968. Alice Francais, Kolkata, 1969. Bedford Hill Gallery, London, UK, 1987. Genesis Art Gallery, Kolkata, 1990. Vadhera Art Gallery, New Delhi in 1992, Jahangir Art Gallery, Mumbai in 1994, Chitrakoot Art Gallery, Kolkata in 1997, Taj Art Gallery, Mumbai in 1997, and his retrospective exhibition from 1956 to 99 at Birla Academy, Kolkata in 2000. Isha Muhammad also participated with other artists at the All India exhibitions, such as that held in Academy of Fine Arts, Kolkata, in the years 1955, 1958, 1959, 1961, National Exhibition of Art, New Delhi, 1967, 1969, 1970, 1987, Birla Academy of Art and Culture in the years 1971, 1972, 1974, 1978, 1979, 80, 99, 2000, and 2001. Major group shows he participated were held in Kolkata, New Delhi, and Mumbai from 1970 to 2001, like the Trends in Bengal Art Commonwealth Institute in London, 1986 to 7. Isha had several works in permanent collections, like the one at the National Gallery of Modern Art, New Delhi, Museum for Indische Kunst, Berlin, Germany, State Academy of Art, Manipur, Academy of Art and Culture, Jammu and Kashmir, Lalit Kala Academy, New Delhi, and several private collections in Canada, France, Germany, India, United States, United Arab Emirates, and Yugoslavia. Isha's portrait works include the life-size portrait of Maulana Azad, made for Maulana Azad College, larger than life-size of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru for Koila Bhavan, Dhanbad, of Rabindranath Tagore for Jadavpur University, of Pandit Isha Chandra Vidyasagar, Calcutta University, Sri Ashutosh Mukherjee, and Sister Nivedita, National Leaders Gallery of Victoria Memorial, Kolkata, and many others for public places and private individuals in India and abroad. Isha was very capable and diligent administrator, as proved by his officiating as Principal Government College of Art and Craft and as President of Asiatic Society for 5 long years before his sad demise at the hands of COVID. The artist participated in the All India Painters Camp Kashmir in 1982. He was a member of the Senate Calcutta University in 1987 and 88. He was also the member of the Executive Committee, Academy of Fine Arts, Kolkata in 1993, member Art Purchase Committee, Indian Museum, Kolkata till 1994, member Art Advisory Committee, Culture Department, Government of West Bengal, and member of Council of Rabindra Bharati University, Kolkata, and of the Rashtriya Lalit Kala Kendra. He was also appointed judge for exhibition of the State Lalit Kala Academy, Jammu and Kashmir in 1982, West Bengal. In 1983, 1990, and 1994, Isha participated in various seminars, published several articles in journals and dailies. The artist received various prestigious awards and honors. He was recipient of the award in graphic art, Calcutta University Institute in 1956. He received the award of painting from Birla Academy of Fine Art and Culture, Kolkata, 1972. He was awarded the Mujib 100 by the Bangladesh High Commission, awarded by the Eastern Command, Indian Army 2020-21, Fort William, Kolkata. He was awarded the Shilpi Mahashamman by the Chief Minister of West Bengal in 2018. He received the Academy Award for the year 2017 by the West Bengal State Academy of Dance and Drama, Rabindra Bharati University, Jora Shako Thakurbari, for his outstanding contribution to visual arts. He was further felicitated by Sri Gopal Krishna Gandhi, Governor of West Bengal, Raj Bhavan, Kolkata, for his outstanding achievements. Isha Muhammad was felicitated on the 50th anniversary of Calcutta Painters at the Golden Jubilee Exhibition 2014. He was also awarded by the All India Fine Arts Association with the Rama Chaudhuri Memorial Plaque, April 1994. He also got the award, the Otullo Ghosh Memorial, in 2017 by Bidhan Shishu Uddan. There are countless more awards and felicitations, about 33 in numbers, like the 33 crores of gods and goddesses in popular Hindu faith system, which unveil Isha Muhammad's acceptability among all sections of genteel society of Bengal. Regards and regrets, if there are any, for my mistakes. And he believed in the principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and also he would teach me the very famous words from the Kama Sutra, uh, the Tika written by Yashodhara Pandit, as cited by Abanindranath Tagore, Rupo Bhedo Pramanani Bhava Lavanya Yojanam Shadrisha Bandika Bhanga Iti Chitra Sharangakam. Thank you so much for your patient hearing. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. It was most informative session. It's my request that if you just make it little bit elaborate and if you just discuss contemporary some of the painters of Isha Muhammad.
Uh,
Muhammad. So
Actually,
we will be illumined.
uh, he lived among other painters who were his seniors and also his contemporaries who passed away recently and just after him, like Ajoy Ghosh, who was an excellent painter in the Indian style in Kala Bhavan. Sorry, in the Indian style in the Government College of Art and Craft. Then one of his senior dadas were this famous sculptor um, Bipin Goswami, who passed away almost without any kind of medication because he fell on bad economic terms. Then just after, before the COVID, Sri Robin Mondal passed away, the octogenarian artist of the, um, you know, Calcutta painters. And just after, you had his friend and his bosom friend and as well his critical enemy was Prakash Karmakar. They would fight. And I remember going along with them to the art camp in Norail in the year 2009-10 in Bangladesh, where they were drawing in that village. There was an art camp organized by uh, Litu Bhai, who is a very famous uh, patron of arts over there. And his disciples, like his most famous disciple, is several others who have now passed away, like Ramlal Dhar, and who just passed away sadly, and Deepali Bhattacharya, who is still a very famous practicing artist, having her shows throughout India. Apart from these, he was acquainted with several other artists. I remember in the art college when I was just a small kid in class 1 or 3, I saw Mulk Raj Anand coming to our house, and my father told me this is Mulk Raj Anand, but I didn't recognize him because I was such a small child. And he took my copy and drew a very nice sunflower resembling the sun, and he would wear his very usual, uh, uh, you know, yellow ochre kurta and his churidar, and with his beard. I thought he must have been one of the giants coming out of the Hamlin fairy tale. Like that, when he took us to Kashmir in Gandarbal village, I stayed with him in that village. We got very sick. He was not only an artist, a professional artist. He was the best of the fathers of the world, because I remember that the way he brought us up, from the morning breakfast to taking us to school by his car, which was, of course, a second-hand car. He did not afford a first-hand at that time. He had a second-hand Italian Fiat, of which he was very proud. And previous to that, he had He was fond of cars. Yeah. He was a perfect mechanic, which very few people know. A perfect car mechanic, a very good tailor, and an electrician. So we had quite some of our, you know, finances saved in the house of not calling an electrician and not calling a car mechanic. Um, like this, we got introduced to several other artists and art historians of the day, of whom I have a very bleak memory as I was a child at that time. I'd been to Delhi with him, and the last time I went to Delhi, he showed me around Lalit Kala Academy and Modern Art Gallery, where his name was written, encoded as the most veteran artist, among others. And the lady who was showing us in the ticket counter, she was amazed that he was still alive at the age of 87. He was about to be 88. And it's sad that COVID took him away, along with several other artists, art directors like Buddhadev Dashgupta and several others who passed away. The great actor Shomitra Chatterjee, who also passed away at that time. So it is a historic moment when, many people were washed away from their physical existence. Although physicality of an artist is not important, his works remain forever. The memory of uh, his doings and his personality remain. He had been a father figure for many a students, and I remember he told me several stories from his childhood and his youthful days. And in his subconscious, he had had several memories of his mystical experiences of having seen goddess Kali at night in Burdwan when he was very young. I don't have time to relate that story, of course, and many people would not like it, thinking it is a fiction. But he would always be drawing and painting women.
I'm just interrupting. Yes, you have ample time, so you can elaborate and narrate it.
If you see in his paintings, you have several dark women, from goddesses to half clad women to children, the girl child. When he was just about 22 or 23, he had been to Burdwan, and he was living in a dilapidated Thakur Dalan, and there was a Kali temple in Boichigram, and he was living next to the Boichi station as the technical artist for the school set up by the Maharaja. India was not yet independent at that time. It was most probably the year 43 or 44, as he told me. And he asked me not to tell this story to anyone, be it a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian, because he said no one would believe it. It's a private story which he told me, because he would go on painting these women, these Hindu women, worshipping, taking the Orghodala and Puja Thala to the temple. He would be drawing Devdashi. And after he made that Bokul Bagan Durga, somehow I thought that he was associated with this feeling of association with the goddess. And so every night when he would wake up at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock and shout in his sleep, we thought that he would be having a heart problem. So I was the one who would wake him up and say, "What is it?" And he would just smile and say, "No, it's just a memory of from my childhood. It's just a feeling." But later on, I learned that he said that he saw a dark lady shining in the moonlit night in Kojaguri Purnima, be it Lokhi, Sri Lokhi, or Goddess Kali, whoever. He was not at all religious in a traditional sense. He never went for his namaz. He never performed any, though his, uh, uh, you know, forefathers were supposed to have been Ghazis and proselytizers who had come from Turkestan or Arabia, but who knows? He was a perfect communist. He believed in humanity and he professed it, and he even proclaimed that he did not believe in a particular religion. He believed in the religion of humanity. But somehow unconsciously, he believed in the Sufi principle of love, and he believed in the Hindu, uh, you know, cultural way of life. He would often say, I am an Englishman by my education. I am born a Bengali Muslim by circumstance, but I am a Hindu by culture. It was uh, many a times he was criticized by his own community. He was never accepted by the Muslim community at large. It took a lot of time for the Muslim community to accept him. And I was the one who actually forced him to, the Eid namaz and the Bakrid namaz. We used to stay uh, within the art college in the principal's quarter, and he used to take me to Red Road for the namaz. And when we came to Salt Lake, we went to Nojrul Kanon. And a strange thing happened once. He always used to sit in the front, and one day he said, "From today, I will not sit in the front, because in the front, people don't go at the back and don't embrace the people at the back." So I said, "Why is it so?" And then we discovered that the people who were sitting at the back row were all, masons, uh, modern day masons and construction workers and coolies and men of no distinction. But they were building great buildings in Salt Lake and adjoining areas. So he said one day that I would sit at the back, and it's strange that no one embraces them. So I will go and embrace them. And then I was amazed, because he was such a dandy person in a three-piece coat, and he was very, very formal, abnormally formal. He was rebuked and criticized as an Englishman, the last of the English men in Government Art College. And uh, actually, he was the boon child of Chintamani Kaur, his guru, whom he loved like anything. He was inspired by his life. He was inspired in the way he married Amina Kaur, the daughter of Sir R. Ahmed. And he was inspired by everything that Chintamani Kaur did. I remember when Sir Chintamani Kaur entered art college some Sunday, my father would come down from the staircase of his office and said, "Sir, আপনি এতটা হেঁটে যাবেন, চলুন আমার ফ্ল্যাটের পেছন থেকে যাই, আমি আপনার জন্য ফল কিনে এনেছি." He loved fruits, and he would be spending the entire morning buying fruit and telling my mother to cook something light and some stew, chicken stew or soup for Chintamani Kaur. And he would touch his feet. It was really nice to see how um, he respected his gurus. And he wasn't a very angry and hot man. He would fight with people. Uh, he would scold students. And I remember once I had been to Darjeeling for an interview with him. And I realized how great a person, a human being he was. There was a particular candidate who had been uh, responsible for his physical torture during the students' movement in art college. He was out for almost 18 hours. And this particular student painted his car with black, uh, you know, color, with cartoons, re- denying him uh, the permission to go to the toilet. So my mother had to cover her husband with a shawl, and he urinated in a bottle. It came out in the papers, and the students were agitating. And many years later, when he went for as a expert in the interview, that particular student was there, and he might have thought that sir is here and he might remember me, and I would not never get the job. But later on, he realized that his sir, whom he had garrowed for 18 hours, had told the committee to choose that very student because he had been working over there for many years. He was married and he had two children. And there were several others who were much more overqualified than him. But he said that they would get jobs elsewhere. But he is underqualified and he has a family to support. So you should give the job to him. But he didn't have the heart or mettle to come up to his sir and say that, "Sir, I'm very grateful to you." I was a small kid at that time in class one. And when we were about to board the train I saw this man come and with a huge basket of sweets and a shawl, and he said, "Sir, amake khoma kore debe." Sorry. He said, "Sir, আমাকে ক্ষমা করে দেবেন, আমাকে কি ক্ষমা করতে পারবেন?" And my father said, "You see, a teacher is just like a father. He can just give, he cannot snatch. So whatever you have done has been washed away in the tears of your repentance. And you have a family and you have two children to support. And the world is very big and very small to many people. So who am I to forgive you? I was once your teacher and you have touched my feet, so I bless you that you be successful in life." And later on, he wrote several books on art, and not mentioning his name for keeping the dignity of the artist. And there were several other art boys like this who had harassed him in his professional career. It was a very volatile age where the left front was in power and they propagated this concept of rebellion in colleges and universities, and the students were incited to rebel because most of the time they didn't have teachers. And Isha Muhammad wrote history in the Government College of Art and Craft by getting a sanction of almost 20 plus teachers for Government College of Art and Craft in a single day. He fought with the ministry, he fought with the chief minister of the time, and he said, "Apnara art educationটাকে education বলে accept করেন না কেন? Why don't you accept the art education is also an essential part of education? Is it not the legacy of Rabindranath Tagore? Is it not the legacy of Nandalal Bose and others that we are, uh, upholding?" And he also believed in several other things, supernatural existence of the soul, and as if we lived in the principal's quarter in Government College of Art and Craft, which was supposed to be very haunted by outsiders. But he says that he used to say that all these spirits, if they do exist, they are all my teachers and octogenarians like Percy Brown and Havel and Abanindranath Tagore. And we did have furniture on which heritage furniture on which Rabindranath had come and uh, sat down to write a couplet, and used by E.B. Havel and Percy Brown. So he would sit on the table and chair which was, used by Percy Brown and Havel. And many a times with people would come for admissions, trying to bribe him that please take my son, you'll get this and this amount of rupees. And he said, "Look, that silken thread of tradition and honesty cannot be broken by gold coins." I have seen him during the annual exhibition which was held with great pomp and show at that time in the 80s in Government College of Art and Craft. He would stay awake at 4 o'clock at night and go around the campus asking students, "Ato kaj korcho, খেয়েছো কিছু? Have you taken some food?" And they would say, "না স্যার, খাওয়া হয়নি, আমি তো সেই খড়দা থেকে মুড়ি খেয়ে এসেছি." তো he would, I remember it was cold winter, and students had come to him and said that, "Sir, কিছু খাওয়ার আছে? Is there some food left?" He said, "No, nothing is oh, something is there. I have some peanuts and muri, and I have some old wine. Will you will you take that and not criticize me?" And they took that. And another incident with which I would end today's discussion is that it was in the month of February, and Basant Panchami was there. Saraswati Puja was next day. And the students had come at 9 p.m. at night and said to their teacher, "Sir, Saraswati Thakur to ana hoyni." And he said that you are going to buy an Saraswati idol from the market, you students of art college. Can't you make it? Make it? And they said that how will we make an idol in a night, in the within 3-4 hours? So he said, go and bring a piece of wood as tall as a door. And they found out a piece of masonite board, or some kind of a old wooden door, or a piece of wood. And he painted it he lime washed it. And then in one stroke of his brush, he drew Shaumo Saraswati. Ma Saraswati came out of his brush wearing a yellow ochre dress with a red border on the swan. And it looked so pure. And then the students, it was 2 o'clock, and he scolded me for being awake. And we went back to our residence. And in the morning, I woke up at 10, and I took the prasad, took bath, and I found the girls of Art College worshipping that same goddess as if Ma Saraswati had come alive from that old wooden piece of wood. So he was such a enigmatic person, a complete family man. Me and my daughter, and my sister, sorry, we both are professors. I'm a professor of history, but I studied art in Kala Bhavan. And my sister is a professor of English. She teaches English in Rabindra Bharati University. He never wanted us to be artists, though we painted quite well. He always said, an artist cannot bear the pangs of the struggle to see his children struggling in the same way that he did. You can become an artist anyway by holding exhibitions, but can you become an educationist? Can you become something like Isha Chandra Vidyasagar, who had the discipline of an Englishman and the heart of a Bengali Hindu mother? That is what he used to say. And he used to read to us Bengali. I was very weak in Bengali in school because it was an Anglo-Indian school and the vernaculars were very weak. And so he taught us Bengali and maths. And I remember I got 80 or 88% in my ICSE at that time because of him. He would read to us pages from Kudito Pashan and from Gitanjali. And we learned English and Bengali with him. And many Englishmen would ask him, where did you learn English? He would say, I would listen to the court verdicts in Konnagar and Sirampur court. I would listen to the BBC. I would watch English films, which I was not allowed to. And I would read a lot and lot of romantic English literature. I think I have exhausted the time which was allotted for me. If there are some queries or someone would love to ask some questions or something which I could hark back to. He was not only my father, he carried the entire last quarter of the 21st century with him, where all men of the late Bengali Renaissance of the 20th century were there behind him as his teachers, and he was the only person pulling the chariot. And now physically he is not there, though he's always with me. I always feel that he is with me when I drive his car. He's with me when I paint. He's with me when I'm sad. He's with me. He's always with me. So it is with every great person that their inheritors or their family members who are near to them would feel so. And there were many other people. He was a part of a greater, Bengali cultural milieu. The moment he died, his friend who would live one floor above us, his name was Amitabh Mukhopadhyay. He was writing a Bengali Obidhan with the um, West Bengal Academy and Bangla Academy. It was left unfinished. He died out, and before his death, his famous friend, the dentist and the famous orator and literature Barin Roy died, and his friend Ajit Banerjee died in Konnagar. So he would, like a monk, he would slowly prepare himself for his death. And he would say in Bengali that I have lived, son, I have lived for quite some time. The car is now old. It should be sold out in scrap. I'm already going to be 88. It's time to go. I have had enough. I have had all the goods of life, all the bads of life. And when I look back, I see that I'm much 100 times more fortunate than anyone, because many of his friends could not shine in life like Bhoni Kaka in Konnagar, who made a film in Konnagar on Panchatantra, which used to be shown in Konnagar. And Konnagar used to be a very cultural seat of religion and learning. You had the Dadosh Mandir Ghat, you had the Brahmo Samaj, where Kaji Abdul Odud was, uh, invited. Rabindranath lived in a house next to the Brahmo Samaj Ghat, and my father would always say that there was a huge palatial building of the Mulliks of Kolkata. And when I was a child, I would sit near the ghat of this Brahmo Samaj, and I would imagine that this is the place where, Honi Bhushan must have sat in his Monihara, and that is the house where Honi Bhushan must have brought his wife Nittokali, and this is where Monihara must have been written. This is where Ghater Kotha must have been written. He loved Bengali literature, and the last days of his life in COVID was spent early in the morning. He would go to his table in his bedroom, and start drawing sketches out of the Robindra Sangeet which he heard. He used to internalize himself with Robindra Sangeet as a kind of religious hymn, and he was always a follower of a unique mixture of traditionalism and modernism. I've never seen such a person in my life. Many people will be born in the greater Hindu Sanatan community who would be talented like Isha Muhammad or more talented like him, but I don't think in today's war ravaged and hatred ravaged world, there would be a single Isha Muhammad who would be born anymore. If they are born, it would be a magical instance. I would love to imitate my father, who was also a great artist, and I would pray that the world ravaged by hatred of men would be filled up by more of intellectuals, writers, artists, literatures, with the same kind of broadness of mind and intellect that Isha had. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your most illuminating session. Is there any questions? Neha Mishra raised his hand. Oh, I think by mistake. So I would like to invite Professor Monotosh Dasgupta to. Yes, what's your.
Thank you.
Sir,
I didn't know Dr. Shamir Isha, but today I have known him. I extend my Ashirvad to him because he has brought me to an unsubstantial fairy place and have charged me with nostalgia because he spoke of one of my best friend, Isha Muhammad. He was professional friend. We were teachers of government college. Therefore, every year, actually, on the occasion of our West Bengal Government Teachers Association conference, we used to meet him. Even after his retirement, a shining man, like a Greek hero, we would call, and we would spend a couple of hours speaking and reminiscing the past. In 1992, when we celebrated 175th year, completion of 175th year of Residency College, I was in charge of the cultural functions. I invited him. Sent invitation letters to all government colleges and practically the teachers there. One day, when I think Shiv Prasad Khanna was playing Santur, he came to that program, and we spent a couple of hours together sitting side by side. Isha Muhammad, he actually drew figures and pictures on the occasion of different celebrations of our association. And he was a very nice man. And from Dr. Shamir Isha, I have known that he was a great man too, but to us, he was a great friend, a very loving friend, well-versed friend. And one occasion, I asked him a question. I learned him that he was a devoted disciple of Devi Prasad Rai Chaudhuri. I asked that Devi Prasad Rai Chaudhuri has said on one occasion that Rabindranath was a true surrealistic painter. And to my wonder, he spoke to me, a novice, for an hour, nearly an hour on this surrealism, neorealism, realism, etc. And I was actually puzzled. But he went on speaking. And thus, I am charged with nostalgia that we have had so great a friend. And I learned and read from the souvenir of West Bengal Government Teachers Association that we had lost Isha Muhammad in COVID years. And he lost a number of great men. I was close to them. Shankhodar, Shankho Ghosh was one of them, Pratima Bodhi, so on. Now, it is quite natural that men would go. But সব মৃত্যু তো আর মৃত্যু নয়, স্মরণের আবরণে মরণের যত্নে রাখি ঢাকি. At least to me, I am also about 82. It is time for me also to depart. But I will remember that great friend of mine. And very much, very, very many thanks to Dr. Shamir Isha. He has charged me with that nostalgia and brought before me back that great friend of mine, Isha Muhammad. Thank you. Thank Shamir. Thank
you, sir.
Modak Academy.
Thank you, sir. Any more question? So today we will conclude the session over here, and thank you, Professor Shamir Isha.